Hi guys, my name is G.P.S. and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, we are in a very different setting today. You might be thinking that I'm at a construction site, but I promise you I'm not. If you have been with me for the past couple of months, you have heard me talk about the fact that we were getting ready for a move, and we did end up moving abroad I think it's been about 2 months at this point, and I'm finally just putting the finishing touches to the new apartment and finishing up unpacking. But it was quite a difficult move because when we decided to move abroad, we were not sure how long we're going to be here, if we're going to be here for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. We just simply didn't know. So obviously I had to pack up our entire apartment in New York, and I had to decide whether I want to bring everything with me or if I want to keep a couple of things in New York while we decide what we're going to do next, or if we're going to be here for 6 months and then return to New York. I thought it would be the best option for us to put the majority of our things in storage, at least the more precious things that would have been expensive to move with. So a big chunk of my Hermes furniture went into storage, some of the bags that I don't use on a regular basis but I don't want to sell, a lot of those are in storage, bags, shoes, SLGs, everything that I mainly collect. It's not like I collect artwork, so it's not like I had to put anything like that in storage. And before you think that I'm crazy, just like my friends did, you don't have to worry about the storage space. It's very secure. It's a facility that specializes in storing artwork and artifacts. So all of their rooms are humidity and temperature controlled. They have 24/7 security. So that's not a concern for me at all. So you don't have to worry about that either. But that was the decision that I made, that I'm going to leave a good chunk of the things that I own in New York. It was logistically easier until we decide how long we're going to be here. I would have had to collect all the receipts for custom purposes. I would have had to find, a reliable company to move with, which was just way too many things to deal with. I decided that that was the easiest thing for me to do. But even though we did that, I still had plenty of things to move with. And the last thing that I'm dealing with is shoes, because I think I have mentioned this before, but I'm not the biggest shoe person, to be honest. I do own quite a few pairs of shoes, but it's not something that I go crazy for. There are people out there who absolutely love buying shoes. That's their first thing. They love collecting shoes from different designers. They want to own every pair of Christian Louboutin shoes or Hermes shoes. I'm not that kind of person. I don't go crazy for shoes. But I do like to have a nice pair of shoes. But if I want to be very honest with you guys, if you meet me in person, you'll notice that I pretty much wear the exact same pair of shoes until they fall apart. And I'm not kidding. I remember in college, I fell in love with the Celine, I think they were called the Celine Skater slip-on shoes. I still have a pair, so you guys will see it. I fell in love with those shoes. I bought them in, I think, 2 different colors and 2 different fabrics. And that was the only pair of shoes that I was willing to wear. I absolutely loved them. Then afterwards, I moved on to a pair of Chanel sneakers that are literally falling apart. I'm not kidding. I wore them until it started snowing. And then when it starts snowing, I put on a pair of Hermes boots. And then as soon as I can, I go back to my regular pair of sneakers or more comfortable pair of shoes. So I moved on to Chanel, and then since my Chanel sneakers are falling apart, instead of repurchasing them, I decided to go on to wearing a pair of new Hermes sneakers. So I'm definitely a creature of habit. So it's really, I appreciate and I'm grateful for all the shoes that I have, but I really have to step back and not buy any more shoes because it's just really not worth it for me. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on any further. Why are we here today? So in the new apartment, we had this hidden, it's sort of like a utility closet that's hidden off of one of the rooms in the new apartment. And what I did when we moved in here is all the stuff that I didn't have space for, I just started throwing in there, which I'm not really proud of because I'm a very, very clean and tidy person. So it's not something that I usually do, but when it came to shoes, I just really simply didn't have the space for them. And I wasn't sure where I want to keep them, considering that I don't really change up my shoes that often. So I ended up just throwing all the shoes in there that I didn't have space for. And I ended up with 2 of these huge plastic bags of shoes. So these are full of my shoes from Hermes, from Chanel, from Louboutin. So there are plenty of shoes that were in that wardrobe, and I simply didn't know what to do with them. Because we still don't know exactly how long we're going to be here, there is no point for me to start building out this very excessive, comprehensive walk-in closet that you would see in Architectural Digest. Obviously, that would be the dream one day, but there's really no point spending money on it, because what if we go back to New York in 6 months? Am I going to be carrying a marble slab on my back to New York? I don't think so. So I started thinking about what I could do with that little hidden closet so I can display some of my shoes and I would actually know what I have in there, because I can tell you that no matter how organized I am, I'm never going to know what's in here. It's just an absolute mess. So I thought that I would try to come up with an inexpensive way of displaying my shoes for the time being. I started thinking about what stores do, how they display their things. And I tried to remember back to the times when I worked in retail and I just kind of had a peek at stock rooms. And I can promise you one thing, no matter how elaborate and beautiful and luxurious a brand's shop floor is, I can promise you that their stock rooms don't look like that. So I started doing research and looking at different stock rooms that you have pictures of online. And I discovered these metal shelves that I ended up getting from IKEA, which were extremely inexpensive, but I thought these might work for displaying some of my shoes. Looking at it now, I ended up getting 2, so I got one of these big ones, and these are both from IKEA. I'll have them linked down below, but honestly, they were so inexpensive that I'm sure you could find something similar. I ended up getting one of these, and then I got a smaller one, which I will show you because I wasn't sure if 2 of these would fit into that wardrobe. Now that I have built it and I put it together, I think I should have got 2 of these because I think I could have fit 2 of them in there. But anyway, I can always get another one if I find that would fit. But why are we here? So the reason why I'm filming this video is because I'm going to be organizing my shoes. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to show you guys a really curated section of my shoe collection. This, I would say, is about 50 to 60% of my entire shoe collection. And I moved with these for a reason. I felt that these are pieces or shoes that I'm actually going to be wearing in the near future. So yeah, obviously I chose to move with these for one reason or another. I have no idea what's in here, but if you want to find out with me, then please keep on watching. Okay, I brought you guys a little bit further down and I sat on the floor. I feel like no matter where I film, I always end up sitting on the floor. But I have my shoes in these huge bags and they are completely full. So I thought I would go through these really quick with you guys and kind of give you guys a little bit of background story. Maybe tell you guys if I would repurchase them or if I wouldn't, or if I would recommend them to anyone. And in case you're wondering why I'm sitting on this, it's because I'm a germaphobe. So my home is an absolutely no-shoe zone. No matter where I live, no matter who comes into the apartment, they have to take their shoes off, which I think is quite an interesting thing because even when I had friends over, it's not like I've ever had formal dinner parties, but every time I had friends over in the old apartment and when we were allowed to have friends over, I always asked them to take their shoes off. And some people actually get pretty offended by it when they put an outfit together and you ask them to take their shoes off. I don't care. I'm a no shoe home, so if anyone wants to come over, they have to take their shoes off. And because I'll be dealing with shoes and I'll probably put them down next to me, it just makes things easier. I actually went to a painting store to get some of these shields for the floor so I can put them down and then wrap these up. And obviously I'm not going to throw it away. I don't want to waste plastic, but I can keep it for, I don't know, whenever we need to paint or get something fixed. It's good to have something to protect your floors with. So in case you're wondering why I'm sitting on plastic, or if you can hear this noise in the back, that's what's happening. But let's start with this bag. These are mainly shoes that I either didn't have a dust bag for or I already took them out of their dust bags after we got here. So, shoe number 1. So the first shoes that we have here are my Celine Sneakers. These are the ones that I told you guys about earlier. These were my shoes of choice when I was in college. They are so incredibly comfortable. They go with everything. They're really flattering. Celine had a season when they used to come out with these all the time. They had them in python, they had them in like a pony hair finish. These were the silk ones. I have them in a green felt, which is still in New York, I think. But yeah, as you guys can see, I wasn't kidding. These are literally falling apart, but I cannot get rid of these. I love them. So they're definitely going on to the shoe rack. Okay, next shoes. These are classic. These are from Christian Louboutin, and they are the suede slip-ons. Like they're some sort of slip-ons with the studs. I absolutely love these. Again, very similar to the Celine shoes that I have here. Very similar shape, very flattering, goes with everything. Next up, I see one half of a pair of Hermes shoes, which are incredibly uncomfortable, but I kept them because I haven't really worn these. And I do think I was going to sell these in New York. I did submit a quote request for these with Fashion File, but I think they were going to pay like $90 for these when they were $800. And I wore these twice, so I was like, I might as well just keep them and try to wear them as much as I can. So hopefully we'll find the other half of the pair. Okay, so I don't think these shoes need any introduction. These are the Balenciaga sock shoes. I'm pretty sure if you're into luxury, you have either looked at these, tried these on, or bought them. There was a point when everyone had these. They're really, really comfortable, and I mainly wear these for flying because they're just so easy to slip on and slip off. Love these for flying, and they're popular for a reason. These are really, really comfortable. I have a pair of really well-used Hermes sneakers, and again, I don't know where the other half of this pair is, but these are a pair of Hermes sneakers that they still make. They're really, really comfortable. Yeah, that's really what I can say. I even think that this has become one of the uniform shoes that people at Hermes wear nowadays because they're so comfortable. I love these. I bought them when these first came out. And I do think that they have improved on this design a little bit since the initial launch, because when I first purchased these, as you guys can see, it has the H on the bottom of the shoe, and the H is actually a little bit further out than the sole of the shoe, which means that you're never actually standing on a flat surface. But I do think that they have improved on this, and they made the H a little bit more flat and a little bit more at one with the sole of the shoes, which means that it's probably going to be a little bit more stable because these are a little bit odd to walk in right now. So we have to find the other half for these. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping those. A pair of Valentino sneakers. Again, I only have one here. I don't know where the other one is. Yeah, a pair of Valentino sneakers. I bought these in the Bergdorf sale. They always have a great shoe sale. A few years ago. They're very comfortable, and yeah, they're just a pair of leather sneakers. Okay, we're getting into some Hermes boots here, it seems. So these are the newer, I think they launched last year. These are, I believe, called the Veo or the Veo ankle boots, which have this really cool Kelly lock closure here, which I actually thought initially when I first saw them that this was so black, but this is just in palladium, in a really dark palladium. And these boots are so heavy and extremely uncomfortable because they don't have much bend to them because they're quite stiff. Every time you walk, you have to kind of walk like a duck. You have to lift your entire feet. It doesn't bend. So they're not the most comfortable, but they're really, really cool. And they launched these, I believe, towards the end of last year with a thinner sole, which makes them a little bit more formal. But I have them with the thicker rubber sole. So yeah, these are definitely going on display. I think this is a pair of Alexander McQueen shoes, if I have a feeling, but let's see. But I do have them in the Hermes dust bag because this is the only ones that I keep. Yeah, these are just the classic Alexander McQueen sneakers, and I bought the ones with this kind of Baroque design and detail in the back. You know, everyone had these at one point, and I did too. I tied some of these dust bags so they wouldn't open up in my suitcase, but there was no point. Anyway, we have the other half of the Hermes. I'm just going to call them Kelly boots. They're essentially the men's version of the Hermes Kelly boots, but the Kelly boots is obviously the women's version. So yeah, if you like the style, you can buy them both in the men's and the women's section. For the longest time, I tried to buy the women's Kelly boots, but they're extremely narrow, so I was glad to see that they brought out this one. This is just the other Alexander McQueen shoes, and this is it. We're done with bag number one. So how many pairs of shoes did we have in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. So we're done with 8 pairs of shoes. And we have a bunch of dust bags, which is great. So let's move on to this bag, which I feel like is going to be mainly Hermes Shoes. So let's see the first one that we have here. Okay, so the first shoe that we have in here is the Paris Loafers with the So Black H. As you guys can see, these shoes are classic. A lot of people have them. They're very elegant and formal, and they feature the H, the Hermes H, which you can see on the Constance bags. And this one is in the So Black finish in black suede, which are lovely. And I think I don't even know how many times they have been worn. Not many times. So these are definitely being kept, and I probably keep these in their dust bags because they're suede, so they probably collect dust. Next up, oh, I love these. So these are my Saga loafers, which I bought when the Gucci loafers were huge, and I really wanted them, but I didn't want to, you know, buy the same pair of shoes that everyone has. I have plenty of those shoes already, so I wanted to buy something that's a little bit more unique, and that's when Hermes came out with the Saga loafers a few years ago.
Let me see if I can remember when I bought these. Not last year, not the year before, so 2018 I want to say. I probably bought these in 2017, 2018.
And they're really cool. They're extremely lightweight. They're really comfortable. And what's great about it is you can turn down the back, so you can turn them into a slip-on or a slipper, or you can pull these out and make them a little bit more formal. I love these. I bought the ones in black with the blue lining. And at the time, this was the only colorway that it was available in. Now it comes in a bunch of different leathers and colors. It even comes with a So Black finish in, actually in black suede. So similar to my Paris loafers, but if you're looking for a pair of shoes that you can take from day to night, just like you would with the Gucci shoes, I love these. I highly recommend them. Maybe I'll actually leave these on display as well. I'm not gonna put them back in their dust bag. Let's see what's in here. This is the Saga Sneakers, so these two make one pair. Let's see what's next. I hope this video is not going to be too boring. If it is, let me know and I won't be making any more of these, but I thought you guys might enjoy looking at shoes. This is the other half of the Paris loafers in So Black. So this is going to go back into its dust bag because I don't want to leave it exposed. A pair of Izmir sandals in Python, which I got in the Hermes sale. I'll link that video up here. I bought these with I think 50% off, and I went into the sale looking for these specific sandals in matte alligator because I always wanted to get a pair of Izmir sandals, but I knew I wanted to get them in an exotic skin, but I'm not willing to pay. I think how much do they cost now? Like $4,500 for a pair of slippers. So I knew that I want to get these in the sale, and I think they had the Izmirs in croc, but not in my size. These were the only ones in exotic skin in my size, so I jumped on these, and these are really unique because Hermes no longer makes things in Python. So yeah, this is really a unique pair, and I'm glad to have these. I think I probably wore these once or twice, but if you look at the sole, it looks like I had been wearing these for the past 3 years, but I really only wore these twice, I think, at this point. Yeah, maybe once or twice, but yeah, anyway. So these are definitely... Do I want to put them on display? Yeah, I might have to put these in a dust bag. I guess we'll see. The other half of the Valentino shoes, which are these ones. The Valentino shoes, I don't think they're available any longer, but they're nice. I like Valentino shoes. Sorry guys, I just accidentally knocked over the camera, so the angle might have changed. But the next pair of shoes that we have here, don't ask me why I bought these. I couldn't answer your question, but these are the Triple-S shoes from Balenciaga, similar to the sock shoes. Everyone and their moms and their dads and their dogs and their grandpas and their uncles and cousins and sisters had these shoes. I also have them. They've been worn a couple of times, but they're just so incredibly heavy. It's like a proper workout wearing these, and I much rather go for a run than wear these. Next up, I have a feeling I'm missing. I definitely know that I brought a pair of... Here we go. I spoke too soon. Here is another pair of Hermes Boots, which was actually my first pair of shoes from Hermes that I purchased. And these are these really, really cool suede boots from Hermes that I purchased because they feature the little Be Happy closure, which is one of my most favorite jewelry pieces from Hermes, which was designed and named after, it was designed by and named after Pierre Hardy. So I absolutely love that little design. I love the Be Happy bracelet. I've been buying these for a long time, so whenever they come out with something that features the Be Happy design, I immediately jump on it. And I love these boots. I've probably worn these maybe 4 times because they're an absolute pain to put on. I mean, can you imagine fastening this thing every single time? They really should have put a zipper or something on the back to make this easier to put on and take off, because they're an absolute pain, but they're quite comfortable. They look amazing with skinny jeans, and they do have a rubber sole, which makes them a little bit easier to walk in, even if it's raining or it's snowy out. Although not that you would wear suede shoes in the snow, but anyway, I love these shoes. And I don't think I've mentioned this, but what I'm thinking right now for my system is that I'm going to try to put things on the shelves without a dust bag, just to make sure that I wear them more often and I can actually see what's on there. And then things that are, you know, pieces that I just want to have in case I ever need them, I'm going to put them back into their dust bags, and then maybe put them into one of these bags and then just leave them on the shelves. And if I ever decide to wear them, I know I have them there. But the ones that I don't reach for let's say the next couple of months, I'm probably going to be donating because I don't need these many pairs of shoes. These are the other Hermes suede boots with the Be Happy feature.
And then let's say we don't have too much left.
Okay, another pair of Hermes boots, which I absolutely love. As soon as it starts snowing or as soon as it starts getting really cold out, I immediately go for these boots. And this is the one that usually takes over from my seasonal favorites. So from my Celine's or from my Chanel's, which we'll move on to in a second. These are the ones that I go for, which are from the Equestrian collection. These are the rider boots from Hermes that you can actually use for riding because it has this little snap closure, which if you pull up, you can actually attach a long shield to it. So you can actually use this for showings and when you're riding a horse. But these are so comfortable, so lightweight, so sturdy. You don't have to worry about rain or snow. You know that these are going to protect your feet. It has a zipper in the back, which is actually a really sturdy zipper. So it's easy to get in and out of. I just love these. So if you're looking for a pair of boots for the winter, I highly recommend these riding boots from Hermes. They usually go in and out of stock, so you do have to get lucky with these, but just talk to your SA and see if they could help you get one, because they are an amazing investment. And while we're talking about investment, I actually got a comment just the other day about shoes, saying that shoes are a great investment, and you know, if I ever wanted to resell a pair of shoes that I have, I easily could and I would get my money's worth. And in my opinion, you really don't. I think shoes are probably the most difficult thing to sell out of anything luxury, because as soon as you take them out of the store, just like a brand new car, they immediately, I think, lose their value by 30 to 50%. They're really difficult to sell, especially if you've worn them, unless they're maybe like the Nike Dior collaboration or a special collaboration. Maybe you could sell those and make some money off of them. But if you have a pair of shoes that you're trying to sell, I think you would find that you would really struggle, unless it's really a trendy piece. I have the other half of the Balenciaga S shoes, which I think I can keep in the dust bag. I don't think I'm going to be wearing these anytime soon. And then last but not least, the other half of the Hermes riding boots, which I love. And we're done with another bag. The only thing that I have in here, okay, do you guys want to know how obsessed I am with people taking their shoes off? If anyone wants to come over and they don't want to take their shoes off, they have to put on one of these medical things that is just like a little sock that goes over, or booty that goes over your shoes, so you're not actually bringing all the dirt and dust in. And this is actually really interesting. I would love to hear from you guys. Please let me know in the comment section if you're like me, you don't want people wearing your shoes in your home, or if you don't care, you even wear your own shoes in. It's a personal choice, no judgment. That this is just my home, these are my rules. Everyone is entitled to do whatever they want in their homes. But I would just love to know, I think it's really interesting. I think I don't know if it's a cultural thing or the way you're brought up. When I was a child, I always had to take my shoes off in my own home. So that's what I grew up with, that's what I know. But because I'm such a germaphobe, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I have plenty of these on hand in case someone wants to come in to, I don't know, repair something and they cannot take their shoes off. I have these on hand just so I can give them something. And then we're done with these big bags. It wasn't too bad, I think. And then right here behind me, I have the shoes that I have been actually using. And this is a pair of Chanel sneakers. These are the ones from the Pharrell collaboration, which are hand painted with all these really cool kind of details. Now this is a pair of shoes that if I wore these maybe once or twice, obviously not in this condition, I probably could have sold these at a profit, but I love these shoes. I love Chanel sneakers in general, and they're extremely comfortable. The sneakers that I loved pretty much all of last year and the year before were these Chanel sneakers that I think I talked about in a previous video. This is a really classic shape from Chanel that they come out with every single season. Each season they kind of revise it a little bit and they make them in different materials and different colors. So for winter, it usually comes out in like a knitted fabric or in shearling, but these are the original ones and I love these, but they're literally falling apart. They are, yeah, I mean, I wore these for a solid year almost every single day and I'm proud of it. And then the shoes that replace those are the Avantage Sneakers from Hermes. I unboxed these I think a couple of months ago on here, so I'll make sure that I'll link my unboxing up here. And I have absolutely been loving these. These have really been the shoes that I've been reaching for. They're comfortable, they're flattering, they look good with everything. So I have absolutely been loving these. And whenever I do my 2020 favorites or my 2020 favorites so far, if I do it before the year ends, I'll be sure to talk about these more because they are incredible. Yeah, so these are all my shoes. I'm going to go ahead and put everything on the shelves. Maybe I'll leave the camera on and maybe do a little bit of a B-roll for you guys so you guys get to see my organization, but I think it would be boring for me to talk you through all of that. And I'll see you back whenever I'm done organizing. So see you in a second. This is the smaller little kind of shelving system that I bought from IKEA because I didn't think both of those would fit, so I bought a little white one. I think I should have bought two of the metal ones because looking at it put together, I do think two of them would have fit in there. But for now I have to do with this little white one, which I think I'm going to use for things that we use more often. So the shoes that I mainly reach for, I'm going to put on these. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier to deal with. And this is it, guys. This completes today's video. Make sure to leave a couple of pictures on the screen of what these shelves look like in their new home, just so you guys can see the finished product. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this from me, then please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.